Hello. 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 What's your name? Hello. Hello, Yakin. Where are you from, Yakin? Where do you live, Yakin? Hello. What's your name? Hello, Noor. How are you, Noor? Hello, Rakad. Hello, Zara. Hello, Yumna. Hello, Tell me the name again. Rakad Yumna. I've forgotten the name of your other child, Zara. Tell me the name of your other child. Hello, Yakin. How are you? Hello, Nidal. Hello, Shatha. Hello, Zara. Radwa. That's it. Yeah. Hello. Radwa, Yumna, and Rakad and Zara. Hello. How are you? Hello. Hello, Shatha. Where are you, Shatha? Where do you live? Where do you live, Shatha? Where do you live? Tell me where you live. Hello, everyone. How are you? How is everybody today? How is everybody today? Hello. I can't read Arabic, but hello. What's your name in English? You live in Hebron as well. Hello, everyone. Hello. Now, can you answer me a question? Can you answer me a question while we're waiting? So, where do you live? And do you live in a house or a flat? So can you tell me where you live and do you live in a house or a flat? Hello, Rakad. Happy to see you as well. Hello, Shatha. How are you? I'm fine. How are you? So where do you live and do you live in a house or a flat? Yakin lives in Palestine. Yay! I've got my Palestine scarf on today. This is my favourite one. My favourite one. So where do you live and do you live in a house or a flat? So Rakad says, I live in Hebron in a house. Excellent. Can you tell me, do you live in a house or a flat? Where do you live and do you live in a house or a flat? So I live in England and I live in a house. Where do you live? And do you live in a house or a flat? Can you tell me? Do you live in a house or a flat? Yakin says we are fine. Shafa says Palestine. I'm Palestinian. Yes. So this is a picture of my house. Can you see it? Can you see it? This is my house. This is where I live. So I live in England and this is my house. Noor says I live in Gaza in a house. So can you see my house? I've got a small garden and a garage, and there's 3 bedrooms. 3 bedrooms. So it's a small house, really. It's not a big house. It's a small house. I've got a small garden at the front and a small garden at the back. So can you tell me about your house? Where you live? So Noor says I live in Gaza in a house. Rakat says beautiful house. Thank you. It's only a small house, but I like it. Yeah? I've got this tree here. This is a pear tree. Grows pears on it. Statha says beautiful home. Thank you, Statha. Yakim, do you like my house? I've got a big red garage. Where's the door? You might think, where's the door? The door is round the side here. Round the side. So I've got 3 bedrooms, 1 kitchen, 1 bathroom, 1 living room, a garage, and a small garden at the front and a small garden at the back. What about your house? Hello, Diana. How are you, Diana? Hello, Yakin. In the house. Good. So this is my house in England, in Manchester. Yeah, and it's called a semi-detached. Semi-detached, because there's two together. Two houses stuck together. And they build them together. They're called semi-detached. Semi-detached. Yeah? So this is my neighbour. She's very nice. And this is my neighbour here. So that's my house. So Statha says, I'm living in Gaza. Excellent. Right, so today's story is all about Johar. And it's about Johar and his house. So do you like stories about Johar? Here he is. Here's Johar. Do you like stories about Johar? Here he is. And this story is called Johar's Nail. Johar's Nail. Johar's Nail. So Raghat says a villa with 3 bedrooms, 2 kitchens, 3 restrooms, 2 halls, and a garden not fixed yet. Wow, that sounds like a lovely house. What a lovely house. So this story is all about Johar, and it's called Johar's Nail. Can you see this? It's a nail. A nail. What do we use nails for? Nail. What is it for? A nail. What can we do with a nail? So we can hang things on nail, or we can fix things with a nail. This one is Johar's nail. Yeah, so the story is called Johar and his nail. Okay, so once upon a time, Johar and his wife were very, very sad. They were very, very sad. Why do you think they were sad? They were very, very sad because they had no money. They had no money. They had spent all their money. No money. They couldn't even afford to pay for their house. They couldn't afford any food. They couldn't afford any rent. They couldn't afford anything. And Johar and his wife were very, very sad. And Johar said, we have a problem. We have a problem. We will need to sell our house. We must sell our house. And they were very, very sad because it was their beautiful house. And they had to sell it to get some money. Yakin says, my house is small. I bet it's still beautiful though, Yakin. So Johar and his wife had to sell their house. What a shame. What a shame for Johar to sell his house. So a man came along and he said, Johar, I will buy your house. I will buy your house. And Johar was happy. He would have money. If somebody buys his house, then he will have some money. And Johar said, okay, yes, that's great. You can buy my house. But, he said, but this nail in the house is my nail. This nail in the house is my nail. And this nail was just behind the front door. This was Johar's nail. And Johar said, that's my nail. And if you buy my house, then I must keep this nail. And the man was a bit confused. He said, well, okay, that's fine, Johar. You can keep your nail. It's only a small nail. You can keep it in the wall and I will keep it safe for you. I will keep it safe in the wall. And Johar and his wife said thank you. And they went off. But now they had no house. They had no house. But the man was happy in Johar's house. The man was happy. And one day, the man that bought Johar's house was with his family, eating. And they were eating very happily. When all of a sudden, Johar came in. Johar came in and went up to his nail. And do you know what Johar did? Johar brought in a smelly old sock. Oh, a smelly old sock, and he hung it on the nail. And the man in the house said, Johar, what are you doing? I am eating with my family. Why are you putting a smelly sock in my house? And Johar said, Nail, nail, that's my nail. It's what we agreed when the house was for sale. Nail, nail, that's my nail. It's what we agreed when the house was for sale. Said the man. Okay, Johar, it's your nail, it's your nail. And Johar left the smelly sock on the nail. And the man and his family were not very happy. And then the next week, Johar came back to the house, and he walked in the front door, and he walked up to his nail, and he hung on the nail a bag. Oh, what do you think is in the bag? Oh, he hung on the bag, he hung on the nail, a bag of smelly old vegetables and fruit. Smelly old vegetables and fruit. And the man said, What are you doing, Johar? This is my house. And Johar said, Nail, nail, that's my nail. It's what we agreed when the house was for sale. Nail, nail, that's my nail. It's what we agreed when the house was for sale. Oh, Johar, that is so smelly. Please take it out. And Johar said, No, this is my nail. And Johar left on the nail a bag of smelly old vegetables and fruit. Oh. So now there's a smelly sock and a smelly bag of vegetables and fruit on the nail. And the man and his family carried on eating with the terrible smell. Now the next week, Johar came back and he walked in the house, and this time he walked up to his nail. And what do you think he put on the nail this time? What do you think he put on the nail this time? You get it? He put on the nail a smelly old fish. A smelly old fish, and he hung the fish on the nail. He hung the fish on the nail. Oh. Now this fish was 2 weeks old. 2 weeks old. This fish was. Look at the fish. Oh, it was so smelly. So now there's a smelly fish, a smelly sock, and a smelly old bag of vegetables and fruit. And the man was so angry. He said, Johar, take your smelly fish, take your smelly sock, take your smelly bag of fruit and vegetables, take it away. They're so smelly. And what did Johar say? Johar said, Nail, nail, that's my nail. It's what we agreed when the house was for sale. Nail, nail, that's my nail. It's what we agreed when the house was for sale. And the man was so angry because he did agree. He did say, Johar, you can keep the nail. And the man tried to pull the nail out, but he couldn't pull it out. And then Johar came the next week. And this time, what do you think he put on the nail this time? Can you think of anything that would be really smelly that Johar might put on the nail? Can you think of something really smelly? So up to now, we've got a smelly fish, Oh, 2 weeks old, this fish. We've got a smelly sock. Oh, we've got a bag of vegetables, old vegetables. What else? What else do you think Johar could put on the nail? What else do you think Johar could put on the nail that would be smelly? Oh, tell me in the chat, what else? What is smelly? What do you think Johar put on next? What do you think Johar put on next? Any ideas? Any ideas? What do you think Johar put on the nail next? Well, next Johar came in the house. He came in the house. He walked up to the nail. That's it. And he had a dead donkey on his back. Oh, a dead donkey that he found in the street. And he hung the dead donkey on the nail. And the man said, "No, Johar, no, no, no." And what did Johar say? Johar said, "Nail, nail, that's my nail. It's what we agreed when the house was for sale. Nail, nail, that's my nail. It's what we agreed when the house was for sale." That's right, Nidal. He left it there in order to come to his house. Always. So fed up. He was so fed up of the smelly fish, the smelly sock, oh, the smelly bag of vegetables, and now a smelly old donkey on the nail. The man said, "I've had enough. You can have your house back, Johar. I'm leaving. This house smells too much." And he took his family away from the house. And what happened? Johar got his house back. And what a trickster Johar is. Johar got his house back. And you know what he said to the nail? You know what he said to the nail? He went up to the nail, Johar, and he said this. He said, "Nail, nail, you've been good to me. Now we are going to live happily. Nail, nail, you've been good to me. Now we are going to live happily." And Johar got his house back. And Johar's wife was happy. Johar was happy. Everybody was happy, except the man who left the house with the smelly fish, smelly socks, smelly vegetables, and the donkey. But Johar didn't mind. He just took them off the nail and left his nail in the wall. So everybody, Johar was happy. Johar was happy. So he tricked the man, didn't he? He tricked him. That's right, Nidal. He left it in order to come back to his house. So did you like that story? Can you say the chant with me? Can you say the chant with me together? So you're going to say, "Nail, nail, that's my nail. It's what we agreed when the house was for sale." And then at the end, when the man said, "Right, I've had enough. You can have your house back, Johar." Johar said, "Nail, nail, you've been good to me. We're going to live happily. Nail, nail, you've been good to me. We're going to live happily." And that's what happened. Johar lived happily with his wife in his house. So do you like that story about Johar? He's funny, isn't he, Johar? He tricks people. He tricks people, doesn't he? He tricks people. Nail, nail, that's right, Munara. Munara, nail, nail, that's my nail. It's what we agreed when the house was for sale. Nail, nail, that's my nail. It's what we agreed when the house was for sale. But can you believe Johar put on the nail a smelly old fish? Oh, can you think of anything else that might be smelly that Johar might put on? Can you think of anything else that might be smelly? What else is smelly? A smelly old fish, a smelly sock, a smelly bag of vegetables, a dead donkey. What else do you think might be smelly that Johar would have put on? Maybe he would have put on some, maybe he would have put on some mud and some dirt from the fields. That's smelly. Lots of things are smelly, aren't they? But at least Johar got his house back, all because of one nail. All because of one nail. So, this is my house. That's my house. That's my house. And I have lots of nails in my house. I use nails to put pictures up with, to put pictures in the wall. So I have lots of nails in my house. And I love my house. I love my street and I love my house. Did you like that, Raghead? It's a funny story, isn't it? I like Johar's stories. Johar's stories are so funny. As he's so he tricks everybody. Smelly food. Yeah, that's right, Manara. You could have a smelly old chicken. An old chicken that's 2 weeks old. Oh, what a smell that would be. What else could you have that was smelly? What else could you have that was smelly? Smelly old food, smelly old fish. Oh, I know what you could have. Smelly old shoes. Smelly old shoes. My husband's shoes smell. My husband's shoes smell. Sometimes I have to put them outside. I say, put your shoes outside. They are very smelly. So there it is. So let's say the chant again. Can you say it with me? This time, click your fingers. Try and click your fingers. Nail, nail. That's my nail. It's what we agreed when the house was for sale. Nail, nail. That's my nail. It's what we agreed when the house was for sale. And this one, he said, nail, nail, you've been good to me. So we're going to live very happily. Nail, nail, you've been good to me. So we're going to live very happily. And Manera says, very funny. So Johar was very happy with his house. He got his house back. His wife was happy. Everybody was happy except the poor man that bought Johar's house and had to live with a smelly fish, a smelly sock, a dead donkey, and a bag of old vegetables. Dear me. A fish, a 2-week-old fish would be very smelly, wouldn't it? Oh, very bad. But Johar didn't care because he wanted his house back. So Manera says, very funny. That's right, smelly food. Can you think of anything else that's smelly? Anything else that's smelly? What do you think? He's a tricky man. Yes, Nidal. He tricks everybody, doesn't he? He's very clever, Johar. He's very clever because he tricks everybody. So I'm glad you enjoyed the story, everybody. I've got to go and teach my class now. So maybe you can say that chant today. Every time you see a nail in your house, say nail, nail. That's my nail. So goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Could you hear that? Could you hear that?